So when you study unit circle and then evaluate the 6 trigonometric functions, so let's say sine of pi over 6, sine of negative pi over 6, tangent of pi over 4, tangent of negative pi over 4, you already learned the clockwise and the counterclockwise. So in this problem, the polar plane, what happened if the directed distance is negative? So in this video, I will explain negative r and positive angle, also negative r in negative angle. So in the previous video, I explained a positive r and positive angle, also positive r and negative angle. So what happened when r is negative? So when r is negative, we have to take one extra step. So first, for positive angle, you look at the pink one. For positive angle, we go counterclockwise, and then if the r is negative, then you have to reflect 180 degree. So let's take a look at the first one. The first one is a negative 4 comma pi over 3. So first, let's find out where pi over 3 is. So here is pi over 3. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Do we just put a point right here? The answer is no. If r is positive, then this is perfectly correct. But what happened when r is negative? When r is negative, you have to reflect 180 degrees. That means you have to jump from quadrant 1 over to quadrant 3. So pi over 3 is right here, right? And then now look over to the other side, right here. This is also pi over 3, right? So that means you make a 180 degree reflection. You jump from pi over 3 to 4 pi over 3. Another way to think about this is you take 60 and then you add 180 degree to it, you get 240 degree. So we are not taking this point, we are taking 0, okay, let's erase the extra dot, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is the point that we are looking for. And then for the rest, I will just erase them. And then this point, we don't need it to. So that's the point we have. And then the next point is 5 pi over 6. Where is 5 pi over 6? 5 pi over 6 is right here, right? Right here in quadrant 2. So if you reflect 180 degrees, that will jump over to quadrant 4. So from pi over 6, if you reflect if you add 180, so that is equals to here, right? 330. So you add 180, so you get 330. What about the 6? So 6, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So normally the point is supposed to be go from 6 and then all the way to here, right? And then this is the point that we have. So let's clean that up. So that is the point that we have. And then since r is negative, we have to reflect 180 degrees. So now this is the point that we are looking for. If you use a negative 6, and then we have to erase this. All right. The next point is 3 pi over 2. So 3 pi over 2 is right here. This is my 3 pi over 2. And then you have a negative 8. Let's do a positive 8 first. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then rotate 270 degrees. So we are right here. And then you have to reflect 180 degrees. So either you add 180 degrees or you subtract 180 degrees. So you take 270 minus 180. Then you just reflect back to this point. So which point is the correct answer? The point up there. So that point is the correct answer. And then the last one, 7 pi over 4. 7 pi over 4 is right here, right? 7 pi over 4, that is in quadrant 4. If you reflect 180 degrees, you will jump to quadrant 2. So pi over 4, and then the over 4, okay? Here is how I got the mark so fast. This is over 4, right? So in quadrant 2, this one is over 4. So that means there is a mark right there. So for the 3, 0, 1, 2, and 3, so it is supposed to be from 3, and then you rotate, and then you stop at this point. It was supposed to be in there. However, because of the negative, you have to reflect the point 180 degree. So let's erase the trace. It is supposed to be right here, and then you rotate 180 degree. I know it's hard to see. It's right. Then that will be right here. And then we erase this point. All right, so that is negative r and positive angle. And then in the next one, I would like to discuss negative r and negative angle. So let's go. Negative r is clockwise, and then negative angle, you reflect 180 degree. So first of all, we have a negative pi over 3. Let's do the angle first. Negative pi over 3. So where is pi over 3? Pi over 3 is right here in quadrant 1. So negative pi over 3, you start at 0, and then you rotate to here, right? So that is negative pi over 3. And then you have a negative 4. Let's do the positive first. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So positive 4, negative pi over 3, it is supposed to be right here. And then what about the negative? The negative, you have to reflect 180 degrees, so you have to make a jump from quadrant 4 back to quadrant 2. So that means from there to here. That one is also a pi over 3. So another way to think about that is you use 300 degree and then you subtract 180. So that equals to 120. And then you have to count 4, right? So from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the point that we want. And then for those little dots, erase that so we don't confuse anybody. Oh, erase this too, because that is not the correct point. We use that to assist me to get the answer. The next one, 5 pi over 6. I know it's negative. Let's do the positive first. 5 pi over 6. And then negative 6. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But negative pi over 6. So you are not going this way. That is wrong. You are going the other way. You are going this way. And then the pi over 6 is like right here in quadrant 3. So negative 5 pi over 6. And then imagine that is a positive 6. So you have to start from 6 and then you go all the way to here. And then that is the destination. And then we draw a point right there. So that is a 6. But this is a negative. What is negative? Negative means you have to reflect 180 degrees. So you have to make a jump from quadrant 3 to quadrant 1. So the best way to do it is you take 210 minus 180. So that means you have right here, you have a 30 right here. So this will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 30. So that's the point that we are looking for. And then we erase all the scratch work. All right, so that is the point. And then we have 2 more to go. Negative 8 and negative 3 pi over 2. So here is how I do it. I am trying to locate 3 pi over 2 first. So 3 pi over 2 is right here. That is 3 pi over 2. So, but we are looking for negative 3 pi over 2. So positive 3 pi over 2 is this. Negative pi over 2, that goes like this. So that will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So positive 8, negative 3 pi over 2 is right here. You go from here and then all the way there. But this one is negative. What does that mean? That means you have to reflect 180 degrees. So from this point and then back to this point. So from this point and then you go back to this point. So that means your point is right here, and then you erase the extra work. Not extra work, the scratch work. And then the last one, 7 pi over 4. 7 pi over 4 is right here. So if r is positive 3, then we have to go from 0, 1, 2, 3, and then we move all the way to the 7 pi over 4, right? So that means the dot is supposed to be right there. Of course, we are doing scratch work right now. We have a negative 7 pi over 4. So we don't go from quadrant 1 to quadrant 4. So we have to go from quadrant 1 and then we go the other direction. Like this direction. So we are not looking for this anymore. So we are which pi over 4? Right here. So we have to go from here, and then we rotate like this, and then until we reach to negative 7 pi over 4. So since the radius is positive 3, then we have a point right here. Of course, that is not the final answer yet. And then this is in quadrant 4, you rotate 180 degrees. So that means you can take the 45 degree, you add 180 degree to it. So that means you just jump over to quadrant 3 right here. 0, 1, 2, and 3. So that is the point that we want, and then we erase all the scratch work. Alright, so that will be the end of this video. So in this video, I explain the positive angle and the negative angle. If you think this instruction is helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. I appreciate your help. I still have a few more parts in this lesson. I see you all in that one, so signing out for now.